떼이야르 establishes close relationships with several women over the course of his life.
I have experienced no form of self-development without some feminine eye turned on me, some feminine influence at work.
떼이야르 leaves a profound legacy in a world starving for hope and love, recognizing the primacy of spirit amidst a rapidly transforming technology.
This man has given us a vision of hope that really is hope and not pipe dreams. That is the stuff of prophets.
Most Christian traditions operate with the impulse to escape time, to something beyond time. An eternity up above means timelessness up above. And in order to reach that, they tell you we have to detach ourselves from the earthly things. And they don't even have an interest in what's happening in the universe. And they're trying to, like he said, escape time where he feels God has entered into time through Christ in order to fulfill what he is doing us in this time. He said, quote, "The only thing that keeps me youthful and active is the growing belief there is something immense, something beautiful about to take place throughout the world, and that we must abandon ourselves to the mighty current of this development." 떼이야르 did not believe we find God by abandoning the earth and the world, but by looking into the earth and this world. This is where we find God. This is where we were made to find God. But dualistic thinking always separates the two, and that is Neoplatonism. It certainly isn't Judaism, because Judaism will point out that Psalm 139 says, David says, if the darkness falls upon me, even the night shall be light about me. Both the darkness and the light are both alike unto thee. Learn a little bit about this man who said, look, it's not about looking up above. It's about looking up ahead. This whole creation is groaning because it is looking up ahead, not looking up above. It is looking up ahead for the whole creation to be liberated by the manifestation of the children of God upon the earth.
Someday, after we have mastered the winds, the waves, tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. And then for the second time in the history of the world, we will have discovered fire.
He is a Jesuit priest, and yet he's a scientist.
He was a paleontologist, dedicated with equal passion to God and to the earth. His new insights into evolution create conflict with religious authorities.
떼이야르, he said we need a new God.
His life is rich with human drama.
From the time he was a very young child, he became frightened to death of perishability. He spent almost all the rest of his life trying to tie himself to something that does not perish.
Donc les parents de Pierre avaient leurs 6 fils au fond. 2 ont été tués, 3 ont été blessés. seule Pierre n'a rien eu et leur mère de dire à l'issue de la guerre, c'est que le bon Dieu a d'autres projets pour lui.
Teilhard de Chardin establishes close relationships with several women over the course of his life.
I have experienced no form of self-development without some feminine eye turned on me, some feminine influence at work.
Teilhard leaves a profound legacy in a world starving for hope and love, recognizing the primacy of spirit amidst a rapidly transforming technology.
This man has given us a vision of hope that really is hope, and not pipe dreams. That is the stuff of prophets.
Teilhard, Visionary Scientist, debuts on PBS Maryland on May 19th at 4 p.m. beginning on May 20th. You can watch the documentary streaming on the free PBS app.
What we find in Chardin is a concept called cosmogenesis. The cosmogenesis is in the becoming of the universe. It means that the universe is yet unfinished. But the cosmogenesis consists of some kind of increased intensification of awakening. Awakening to God ultimately was his belief. And so in the Neoplatonistic belief, you have a heaven, you have a hell, and what we want to do is get to that upper hierarchy. This is what he was trained in. He wasn't for this concept of getting to timelessness. He felt that we need to stay within time. And because time, after all, when the fullness of time came and when the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled, he's looking at time as something that is yet to be fulfilled, so we need to stay in time to experience what's going to be experienced within time. Maybe that's the best way to say it. So he sees the noosphere as the earth is a portal into the cosmos. And to sustain our hopes, evolution must have an indestructible goal. The problem with naturalism is it doesn't love nature enough. You want it not only to be beautiful, but you want something to be everlasting. He doesn't want to be fulfilled by something up above in a timeless sphere. But he wants to find fulfillment in something up ahead, not something up above. And this fulfillment is a fulfillment of time. When the fullness of time came, God sent forth his Son, born of a woman, under the law. And so there's still this fulfillment of time, which will be the fulfillment of truth, the fulfillment of beauty, the fulfillment of unity, the fulfillment of agape love. It's all heading there. It's in the culmination of things. It's the indestructibility, see. But it is not something that's outside of time and space. That it is within the mechanism and sphere of time and space that we can have our faith. That we don't have to have our faith in something out there, but something right here. That it's not something up above, it's something up ahead. And to have your faith in something up above is Greek. That's Neoplatonism. That's the way they believe. It's called the hierarchy. Okay, and in order to understand the hierarchy, you have to be in a higher level. And lower hierarchy people can't understand what hierarchy people know, and so they have to go through a purification of some kind to get them up on these higher levels of spirituality. This is what's taught. This is Neoplatonism. It's also called Christianity. It's theology that is formulated on Neoplatonism. It's not Abrahamic. What? That's the type of teaching we get out of the Tanakh. Abraham was not basing his life on looking up above, but he based his life on looking at something up ahead. He was looking for a city whose builder and maker was God. He was not looking up above, he was looking up ahead at what was going to happen when he looked at the stars, and he says, your descendants are going to be more than those stars, but I'm not only showing you stars, I'm showing you sand, which means the earthly. And your descendants are going to be more than the sands of the seashore, and this perfection is going to come about no matter what, because it's based on something that's indestructible, and it's an indestructible seed that is in you, that is genetically coded, so did our scientists believe, to awaken. That the earth was a great drama of awakening, and that since Einstein said that we are ever expanding, therefore it is unfinished. So something is to be completed, and what is going to accomplish this completion is something that dwells within us that is indestructible, and that's why it's going to get done.
In Teilhard, Visionary Scientist, a new documentary to be broadcast on PBS, 4 key ideas emerge from the life and mind of Jesuit Fr. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, 1881 to 1955. Evolution, integration, fire and passion. The fascinating visionary, paleontologist, theologian, geologist, philosopher, evolutionary theorist and mystic provides ample subject matter for a 2-hour documentary. In an exclusive interview for NCR, producer Mary Frost told me the film had taken 13 years to accomplish, shot in 4 countries on 3 continents, France, China, England and the US, in 25 locations. French Jesuit Fr. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin is seen in this 1947 photo. Mary and her co-producer husband Frank Frost made 7 research trips to prepare for the film, followed by 7 shooting trips. They interviewed 30 experts and banked 200 hours of video material that took them 2 years to edit. Jesuit Fr. Eddie Siebert of Loyola Productions did the cinematography, and Taiwan-based Jesuit Fr. Jerry Martinson, who consulted on Martin Scorsese's 2016 film Silence, was their Mandarin interpreter on shoots in China. Born and educated in France, Teilhard de Chardin was introduced to the study of stones and rocks by his father, Emuel, and to the life of faith by his mother, Berthadelle. While still a young boy, Teilhard had an existential crisis about the impermanence of matter, but as he matured spiritually, he began to understand that spirit and matter, the divine, the world, the universe, humanity and all creation are connected. Teilhard believed in evolution, and at his death he continued to believe that the world was still becoming under God's creative action. American Catholic novelist Flannery O'Connor described Teilhard's words as the work of an artist, saying, Teilhard's view of evolution as the spiritualizing of matter is close to the poet's. As a film, Teilhard, Visionary Scientist, accomplishes 2 goals. First, it is an exceptional narrative made from documentary footage, recent interviews with key experts and Teilhard's relatives in the United States, France and China, old photographs and new photos taken during the filming, and the select use of the Jesuits' writings. From these, a substantive, thought-provoking and inspiring biography emerges. Second, the film introduces Teilhard's ideas, such as the noosphere, a term he coined that refers to the interconnected realm of human thought and consciousness evolving toward collective spiritual unity. This profound film reveals much about a man whose life, work and ideas are only becoming more relevant to science, philosophy and theology. Teilhard never loses you. Biographer Ursula King's contributions, as well as those of others, helped develop the portrait of a man who was at once prophet, priest, Jesuit, scientist and mystic. Their research is keenly evident in the choice of Teilhard's words, voiced by Frank Frost, and the smooth tenor of narration by media producer and Franciscan friar Greg Friedman. Teilhard was a controversial theologian. When he tried to reconcile science and faith by questioning whether humanity descended from Adam and proposed another way original sin may have entered the world, he was obliged to affirm 6 doctrinal teachings or risk being expelled by the Society of Jesus. Though he did affirm the teachings, he lost his position as a teacher and was exiled to China, where he worked as a paleontologist and is still revered today. In November 1957, after his death, the church decreed that his books could not be held in libraries of seminaries and religious institutes, nor carried in Catholic bookstores. It is interesting, however, that none of his books were ever placed on the index of forbidden books, which until 1962 was still adding titles, in whole or in part, that were deemed dangerous or against faith and morals. But the filmmakers find little, if anything, to critique in Teilhard's life or writings, though they are open about the doctrinal issues with his Jesuit superiors and the somewhat controversial influence that women had in his life as a celibate religious. Most important, Frost emphasized, is that those interested in the work of Teilhard de Chardin not shut down medical or scientific research because it seems beyond the pale, but do be concerned that the most important choices we make are furthering the evolution of union and love.